Well, hello, Aquarius. This is Malik from Malik's Mystical Magic and Intuitive Consultations. This is a tarot read for you, Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. Basically, Aquarius, the energy today, May 28th, 2026, feels mentally intense, emotionally pressurized, okay, and deeply revealing. And with this moon being in Scorpio, that's creating some tension with Pluto in your sign, Aquarius. So some of you may feel emotionally detached on the surface, okay, while internally recognizing, that something is affecting you more deeply than you may have wanted to admit, Aquarius. So I would say this feels like emotional pressure underneath emotional control, like something internally is shifting. And this could be connected to, I would say, identity, relationships, emotional boundaries, control, power struggles, with Pluto being in Aquarius, emotional distance, or just realizing something emotionally can no longer stay suppressed. Now, Aquarius energy naturally tries to process emotions intellectually, being an air sign, but it's a fixed air sign as well, okay? And I would say, but today's energy with the moon in Scorpio and the aspects, and you can follow my page to get the daily cosmic forecast. So I'm talking about today's energy and tomorrow's energy going into tomorrow, but over the next few days, whenever you see this, it's meant for you, okay? So Aquarius, I would say this feels like awareness that is breaking through avoidance, okay? So let's go ahead and tap into the energy and see what you, Aquarius, can no longer ignore, under this Scorpio moon energy. And for that, I will be using our Deviant Moon Tarot deck to get the cards, and Spirit is going to talk, no clarifying, and wrap it up with the Black Moon Lilith Astrology Oracle, and we will go from there. So with that said, let's go, Aquarius. Spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, ancient wisdom, ancient DNA, and our ascended masters, most high, the divine and source. Tap into the energy of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. And let's see, Spirit, what can no longer be ignored under this Scorpio Moon energy for Aquarius? Queen of Wands. Okay. All right. What can no longer be ignored, Spirit? There you go. Star. That's your major arcana. Okay. One more. Ashe. Okay, Aquarius. Oh, okay. Well, before I could even get it out, let's just see what we got. We have King of Swords reverse, Nine of Swords, and Page of Wands. Okay, in reverse. So I'm gonna put that back in the deck and see if it comes out again. Aquarius. Okay, we have the High Priestess in reverse. The Ace of Swords. Clarity and truth, eh? What can't be ignored? The Fool. This is your major arcana here, Aquarius. The Fool. The Chariot, reversed. The Sun. Clarity, truth. and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. The overall energy is Ten of Cups reverse. Okay. Bottom of the deck is Judgment, the World, ooh, and Seven of Pentacles reverse. Well, well, well. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Oh my. Okay. I don't know who had the World and Judgment. I've already done Cancer, Taurus, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Okay, so definitely side by side, but at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so Aquarius. Immediately, this feels like truth is surfacing. Okay, honestly, with the High Priestess here in reverse, this feels like something hidden coming visible. You know, so something intuitively known finally being acknowledged, whether that's secrets are surfacing, suppressed emotions are surfacing, or there is no more ability to ignore what your intuition has already been trying to tell you. Okay? Because the next card out is definitely clarity. Ace of Swords. So clarity is definitely entering the situation. So this feels like a realization, you know, truth, mental breakthrough, you know, honest conversation, or finally seeing something for what it truly is. In Aquarius, this feels uncomfortable because Aquarius energy naturally likes emotional distance when processing heavy emotions. But this reading feels like emotional truth that is demanding acknowledgement, okay? And then you got the Fool and the Chariot in reverse, okay? So with the Fool and the Chariot being in reverse, there's definitely a new chapter that's trying to begin here, you know, a new direction, a new reset, okay? A leap, a shift in your identity, okay? Pluto is in Aquarius. Or I would say emotionally kind of needing freedom from something that has been mentally exhausting, okay? But the Chariot being in reverse is telling me that movement feels blocked emotionally, you know? So this feels like wanting forward movement, you know, while emotionally or mentally struggling with the direction. Or you could be emotionally feeling pulled in multiple directions internally, okay? And then with the Sun here, you know, I like that because the Sun, this feels like illumination, Aquarius, you know, with that Ace of Swords, you know, total illumination, like truth coming to light, you know, truth coming to light, right? Emotional awareness, you know, seeing clearly, recognizing, you know, something that finally, you know, emotionally has been lingering underneath the surface for a while. This is a pretty clear. I asked Spirit for clear, no clarifying energy, and Spirit is speaking. So I would say here, this is feeling like clarity after confusion, you know? Clarity after confusion. All right. And the next card, that's Three of Pentacles in reverse. So this is telling me that something here may no longer be functioning, you know, cooperatively, you know. This could be misalignment, poor, poor communication, you know, not being able to get on the same page, emotional disconnect, one-sided effort, you know. This could be you, Aquarius, you know, realizing that something is no longer being built on a stable emotional ground, you know. And then your overall energy being a Ten of Cups in reverse. What can no longer be ignored may actually be the emotional dissatisfaction. So I would say this feels like recognizing that something emotionally is not fully aligned the way it appears externally, okay? And then when we look at the bottom of the deck, Judgment is here, the World, and Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So Aquarius, this is major because this feels karmic. This feels like a cycle closing, a realization happening, an awakening occurring, or maybe recognizing that continued emotional investment into something may no longer be producing the emotional fulfillment expected. Okay? So, Aquarius, that Seven of Pentacles feels like you are reevaluating, questioning, whether something is truly worth the emotional energy anymore. Yep. So Aquarius, what can no longer be ignored, I would say, is the emotional truth, the emotional dissatisfaction, okay? And the realization that something internally has begun to shift, okay? And that does feel like an awakening through some awareness. Now, whether this is a relationship, emotional fulfillment, identity, or direction, clarity is definitely forcing something into the light. Okay, Aquarius? So let's go ahead and wrap it up with the Black Moon Lilith and get further into it. Okay, so Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, please tap into the energy for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is it that Aquarius needs to know? What can no longer be ignored under this energy, Spirit? And this could be whenever you see it. Did I ask you, are you subscribed? If not, please do. Aquarius. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Personal readings, astrology, tarot, numerology, practitioner work. You can find that on my website and my information on the channel. Aquarius. Okay, so the card for you, Aquarius, is Neptune, card number 10, Sacrifice. And I'm sorry, but at the bottom of the deck, Aquarius, Cancer, I feel 16, which is an ending and going within. Okay, but let's see here. So Neptune and Sacrifice. So you remember that High Priestess that came out in reverse, right? Okay, so there we go. So that was the strongest card in my readings, the first card. Okay, so what I see here for you, Aquarius, is this connects to your reading very deeply, okay? Because Neptune energy can blur boundaries emotionally. It could create illusions, fantasy, emotional confusion, avoidance, escapism, sacrificing too much emotionally, while trying to maintain peace internally, Aquarius. So what I'm picking up here with the High Priestess being in reverse to begin with in your reading, it feels like intuition that may have been ignored for a while, okay? Or this could be you emotionally knowing something deep down, but trying not to fully confront it, okay? And honestly, Aquarius, Neptune energy can sometimes make people hold on, to situations emotionally longer, than they should because they're attached to the potential, okay? The rose-colored vision of it, okay? The idea, the hope, the possibility. But the Ace of Swords and that Sun both came out, remember? So clarity is cutting through the illusion now. So, Aquarius, this feels like some emotional truth that's surfacing, whether somebody is emotionally ready for it or not. Okay. And as it relates to sacrifice, Neptune being tied to sacrifice, what can no longer be ignored for you, Aquarius, may actually be where you have been emotionally sacrificing yourselves, you know. I would say that could look like overextending yourself emotionally, suppressing your feelings, you know, trying not to care, trying to detach, emotionally tolerative of situations that internally are no longer feeling in alignment with who you are becoming, right? So when I look at the interesting part, Cancer here, I feel being at the bottom of the deck as well underneath that. What's interesting here, Aquarius, your energy naturally processes emotions mentally first. But this reading feels like Spirit is forcing you back into the emotional awareness, okay? This feels like emotional honesty. Yeah, emotional honesty. Now that you know deep down. So, Aquarius, I would say what can no longer be ignored under this energy here is emotional truth, emotional sacrifice, and the realization, okay, that your intuition has already been trying to reveal something to you internally. And this feels like that illusion is breaking and clarity is surfacing. In addition, I would say emotional awareness is becoming impossible to suppress. That's what I will say. And I ain't going to say nothing else. Okay, Aquarius, this your reading. If this resonates, definitely drop a comment. Let's connect. If you haven't subscribed, do so. I will be dropping a full moon in Sagittarius reading or live to break down what this full moon is asking of us. What are we releasing for all 12 zodiac signs? So I hope to catch you there. And until then, as above, so below, as within, so without. Ashe, ashe, and ashe. Okay. See you next time, Aquarius. Deuces.